Hey, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be covering Gatsby and how to get it up and running on your local machine. Now, Gatsby is a framework built on top of React. So we're going to be using NPM to install a lot of package dependencies. And as a prerequisite, you'll need either Node, you'll need Node installed. You'll need to use NPM or Yarn. So if you want to use Yarn, you'll need to install Yarn separately as well. If you've coded any sort of application which uses NPM, you should have all of the dependencies you need. If not, I'll leave a link to the programs you need to install on your machine before you get started. But if you have everything else installed, then we'll first jump to the Gatsby website, which, let me just say now, is probably the best place to go to if you're looking for documentation around Gatsby. It's amazing. I've never seen documentation, this clean, this well designed, and this practical before, using real world scenarios as opposed to like foo and bar and all that, nonsense. But essentially what we want to do is we want to get started and start building a site. A lot of people tend to pick up a starter kit, and that's exactly what we're going to do, but I want to have like a bare bones setup. So if we search for Gatsby basic starter, we essentially want to have something which has next to no dependencies installed. Let me see, advanced starter default. I think we might be all right. Let's see what this one's got. Okay, yeah, this is a good one. So essentially, at the bottom of the starter kits, you'll tend to see a list of dependencies, and what I'm looking for is a starter kit with as few dependencies as possible, because I want to show you how we would go about building our own bespoke Gatsby site. So as you can see, to get started, I can use a Gatsby command if I have the Gatsby CLI command installer. So we're going to move back to my desktop, and we're going to open up a terminal. So I'm going to use hyper, and when it loads, we will want to essentially just run that command. What that'll do is it'll go and find all the dependencies for the Gatsby site. It'll build a folder for us, and it'll know that this is a new Gatsby project, and it'll try and use the latest versions of all of the dependencies available. So that is just about done installing. The installation is pretty quick, and it's just grabbing some of the packages now. So it's just completed installing the packages. It did take about 2 minutes to install, so it could vary depending on what starter kit you're picking up. I've gone ahead and renamed the folder to Gatsby WJHM, just so that we know that we're in the right place. So this is what the folder structure looks like. The most important files we're going to be looking at are the Gatsby config and node files. But in terms of the project setup, if you wanted to, you could open up a terminal and run npm run Gatsby, or I might be npm run develop. Cool. So that runs Gatsby develop for us, and that command can be found within our package.json file. Basically what this will do is it will kick up a Gatsby install and create a local environment for us. So it says it's generated 5 pages, it's building some development bundles, and it should prompt us to open up a new tab. If not, we can just go to localhost, and we've got our Gatsby set up. So spinning up a Gatsby site is pretty quickly. pretty simple process, if you will. As you can see, it's got 2 pages and it's lightning quick to go between the two. There's like no load times. That's the whole amazing part about Gatsby. We don't want to style it at all like this. This will be a placeholder for now. If you want to go in and add your own pages, you can do so. I'll just add the Gatsby folder to my editor. So Gatsby.jack is made. So this is, let me close these files. This is the project structure. If we go into source, you can see we have our React components and CSS file. We also have an images directory, which has some placeholder images for our starter. And then we have 3 pages. The 404 page, that's you have to hit a route which hasn't been created, then there'll be displayed a 404 not found page. We also have an index page, which is the home page, and then page 2. If we wanted to create our own page, say hi.js, copy and paste the code from the second page and name it hi page, and we'll set up some of the config, hi from the hi page. And if we look at our editor, it detected that there was a change and it's built a new page. This is like hot reloading, as it's called. And if we go to /hi, then we have hi from the hi page, and we can go back to the home page, we can go back to the hi page. So you can just add in a .js file anywhere in the pages directory. If you had a folder and then a page, then it would have the folder name and then page in the slug. And so it's very familiar to like a PHP setup, or if you were, hard coding HTML files, it's kind of the basic setup. Just add anything in the pages. We'll be covering the Gatsby config in a bit more detail in the next video. And Gatsby node is where we will be programmatically generating pages. But yeah, I'll add a link to the starter kit in the description of this video. And if you go ahead and set up the starter kit, then you should be fine following the rest of the tutorial.